Hey there, folks. Welcome back to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. So we're in the period of time when um, I started this account. For whatever reason, I just decided to start all these accounts, or three of these accounts anyway. This one I started last year, about this day, and then the Hyperlight and the original account were started about this time 2 years ago. So we are about at the 1 year mark for this account. So everything you'll be seeing today and everything you've seen me do since I started doing videos for this free-to-play account have happened totally free over the course of this first year. Now, of course, if you don't know the history of the account, this was the originally, if you go back in my archives or whatever, you'll see that I'm a go back playlist. I think it's under the crazy idea category where I started talking about this. And originally, this was to be a Darth Loquitur Profundity Rush account. So then I decided to go out of that, and then I started chasing Java for a little bit. And then at some point, I decided to start doing the videos on this account, and that's when we became SLKR Rush account. So I'm going to call it, I think technically tomorrow is the 1 year mark, but I have things to do and it's going to be a very late night. So this is going to be the video for the 1 year anniversary. I'm going to mark it as so. It's the 10th of February, by the way. Thanks for being here. I shot a 2 year anniversary for the Hyperlight account, and as I was going through it, I'm like, what is going on here? And I sort of talked. I don't know if it's ever going to see the light of day, honestly. Maybe you've seen it by now, maybe you haven't. I don't know, because it's where I am with what's happening. So over the course of the year, we managed to make it all the way from 0 GP to 2.2 million GP in 1 year. And I'm sure some of you are like, that's it? I made it to 2.5, I made it to whatever. Okay, well, I'm sure I would have if I would have honed in on one, like if I would have kept going on the Profundity Rush, or if I don't know why I did that. I hurt myself a little bit, but or if I would have stuck to the Java Rush, I'm sure I would be higher. But all things considered, I think 2.2 in a year, so that's going to put us at what, 3.4, 3.5 in 2 years, which is more or less where my other accounts are. But with this account, I would say that we have a very more well-defined path as that I had with those other accounts when I started out. So that's the reason they're sort of crazy and all over the place, and that's the reason when I was shooting the video for the Hyperlight, I was like, what in the world? But what is it's fine. It'll be fine. So we made it to 2.2, and now, obviously where we end up at the end of this episode is going to be where we actually end up at the end of the episode. And I don't think we're going to get 2.3, but potentially. So one of the big things is I've, set my foot in the ground. I'm like, hey, when we finish Cal, we're going to start saving it for Kairos for signal data. So that's what we're doing. So this is where we're probably going to see the explosion in GP. It's just from now we're setting our foot in the ground, and we decided to go tall. So that's what you're going to see for the next however long it takes me to get these guys, however long it takes me to acquire the signal data file. And then, of course, especially since we're not doing refreshes, that's all we're doing is we're just doing the one poll, and we're getting basically a whopping 6 signal data a day. And why are we doing that? Because we're saving up to 4,000 again. And then after that, we're going to be spending down. It's just, I feel like it's just what's best for me to do, the best way for me to do it. Doesn't mean you have to, but just what I prescribed for myself, if you will. And so we're just in here. We're doing the one poll. Hopefully we land some shards of the command shuttle. It didn't even register with me if we got any. I'm not sure that we did. Maybe we did. I don't know what happened. I kind of blinked out, or I know we got some Scion. I couldn't tell you. I'm pretty sure we got like a shard of the command shuttle, but I'm not super sure. If you were to ask me, hey, how sure are you that you got shards of the command shuttle? I'd be like, I think we did, but not really sure. But definitely I'm working on mods, because we need mods for these guys. So I'm pulling mods. So I'm either pulling mods or mod slicing material. I think I'm pulling mods at night and slicing material in the morning. At least that's what I feel like I'm doing. Whether I'm doing it right or not. And honestly, we're done. We're just waiting on ship mod parts right now for fleet mod parts. And then, whatever we have left, we're going down here and be like, okay, well, what's the next project that we have in line? And for us, it's, of course, these bounty hunters, because we need the bounty hunters online to be able to push through and keep doing what we're doing. We'll take these from here, of course. Okay, that's done, right? And we need a bunch of these. And then light side. Okay, so we'll do this. And I guess we're not going to get, maybe we get what we need, but I'm not feeling it today. But we're done with our energy, so that's good. Let's just jump into shipments, and I was hoping that the command shuttle was in here, because that's where I'm trying to pull the command shuttle from. It does slow us down a little bit in terms of ramping up this crystal energy, but 4 guaranteed is 4 guaranteed, my friends. And like I said, don't feel the pressure. If you think that the way I'm doing stuff is the way you need to do it, no. If you like the way I'm doing it, fine. But no, I'm not. If you ask me, hey, if you were doing an account, if you were doing a farming plan, what would you put together? Standard stuff. I would say have an idea. If I was starting that, because a lot of these farming guys, they get it set up because it doesn't matter who it is, Newt or Arnold or whoever, they're like, this is what they feel. And there are certain lanes that I think you should start down. Like, you should have an idea of what you're doing going in. Like with my Lightside account, I do have an idea of what I'm doing going in with that. But at the same time, there are certain things you need to be able to progress. Like I talked about, like for a long time, we were in this crunch of we couldn't get through fleet. because our ships and our pilots, and that's a real thing. And we're still building up the light side fleet just so we can, because we've not yet. I don't think on this account I don't think we've finished the hull one and the endurance. Why? Because it's the way it hasn't panned out that way for whatever reason for us yet. We're trying to get that direction, but we're just not there yet. And that's not a slight on anything. It's just fact. It's just a fact of what we're doing and how we're playing, and that's all that it is, really. It's just a fact of playing this game for whatever reason right now. Is we're still, even though we've been playing this game for a year, we're still behind. You see here that I have, 150. I have more than enough wedge. I have more than enough arc trooper. I have almost enough ghost, and we're closing in on the Razor Crest. I forgot what that ship was because, it got destroyed in season 2 of Mando. But basically, the reason why we don't have the hull one fleet up is because we're having to, we're still waiting. We do have all of our ships up at 85 now, with the exception of this. And we don't, and this is the bottleneck. We need to save money so that we can bring this up to be able to use this for the finalizer event. So that's why we're not able to. And as you see, we have ships ready, ships waiting for abilities, but we can't do that because we need to bring this guy up first, and we need to put these abilities on first. And so all I can really do is just, okay, like here, all the ability materials I'm porting up are for these bounty hunter ships, because we want to be able to jump straight and as fast as we can from the finalizer farm for SLKR into Executor. We want to be able to streamline that as much as possible. And that's why as soon as we get done with all these characters, there's obviously characters that we need to adjust right immediately after that I haven't, because we're not there, that I'm not worried about then yet. And that is the bounty hunters, of course, that you need for Executor, being Bosk, Dengar, Boba, IG, Mando, Bam Mando, and then Cad Bane at some point, and then, of course, there's Piet, and then there's Vader along with that, and then TIE Pilot for whatever reason. But, we're not there yet. When do I think we're going to be done with Flipper? Depends on how long it takes us to get, like I said, to the 7-star. Depends on how long it takes us to get to the 7-star command shuttle. The faster we get drops, the faster we get energy, the faster we get, the faster we get up to 4,000 crystals. I imagine when we get slicker, we'll have a little bit more success at climbing higher and maintaining some posture. And then I think when we get to Executor, that's when things really start snowballing because we'll be able to put him in front, the bounty hunters. And I think I had talked about this a little bit. We'll be able to put the bounty hunters at the top, have executor behind. We'll be able to put Kylo at bottom, have put, whatever first order behind them. And I think that's going to be pretty strong for us. And then, if we catapult, depends on how fast we can catapult into whatever's next for us. This is really going to determine how far this account can go. And I'm hoping that is very far. Do I know if it will? Do I know how far we're going to be able to get with that? No. But, if I were looking ahead, I would say that depending on how long it takes us to get this Kylo's command shuttle, we could theoretically be looking at executor in if we get lucky and if we get Kylo's command shuttle done by the end of March, which that's a push based upon what I'm seeing right now. But if we end up getting Kylo's command shuttle done by the end of March, we can theoretically because I'm thinking that there's a shot that I could have all the characters all the way up by the end of March. I know that's a push, but I think it can happen. But if we get there, sometime in summer. I would think the latest would be August, which I know is technically fall, but or September, I meant, which is technically fall, but I think that is probably realistic. And then if that happens, then we get to Christmas. I mean, it's going to be surprising where we are. I think you're really going to be surprised at where we end up at Christmas and at the 2-year mark, which would be this time next year in 2026. But that's where we are. This is my 1-year anniversary where I am. Let's take a look. If you want to take a look at the account, it's not great. I admit. We're closing in on Slicker. I know people that have beeline Slicker can do it in 9 months, and I'm sure you can probably do it less if you don't worry about these hobos, seriously. Just get to this node, farm the crap out of it, get this command shuttle, and then start worrying about everybody else on this account. That's really the key. And then, maybe if you're crazy, maybe farm this up in hard nodes first, and then just stack like 3,000 signal data or 5,000 signal data or whatever of every signal data, and then start on your characters. Because if you can do that, if I were crazy enough to do a 6th, which I'm not, please don't even think that. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you. Thank you all for being here. I hope for your continued support in year 2 and beyond. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you next time, tomorrow. Make sure you hold the line, and I'll see you then. Bye.